Alrighty, today we are going to be working on our glute muscles and opening up those hips. I think it's really important when working on building muscle in the glutes and the lower body to keep that mobility between the hips, fluidity between the hips, so we can keep our flexibility while building strength. So we'll be doing a little bit of both today. Making our way to a resting seated position, and that's whatever that looks like for you. Allowing the eyes to shut softly as the hands rest gently on the knees that can be face down if we're looking for something within ourselves today, or that's face up as a sign of receiving from the energy around us in this space. Taking a deep breath here. Allow the shoulder blades to come away from the ears with each exhalation. And with each inhale, notice those lungs fill up with air. Just breathing. As we begin our practice today, we're taking some time to get acclimated with our breath and the state of our body. I encourage us to inhale through the nostrils for a count of 4 or 5. Big deep breath in. Pausing at the top of that breath, followed by an open mouth exhale for a count of 5 or 6 as we slow down the breathing and the heart rate, preparing ourselves for movement today, preparing ourselves for growth each and every step of the way. Breathe. In through the nose, allow those lungs to fill up, out through the mouth, allow those shoulders fall away from the ears. In through the nose and out through the mouth. I encourage us to let go of any thoughts, emotions, things to do that exist outside of this space, outside of the mat today, so we can be fully present for our bodies today, fully present for our minds, and fully present through each and every step of this practice. Allowing our sole focus to be on that breathing, the rise and fall of the chest. And bringing that focus with us throughout the duration of our practice today. Checking in with the thoughts throughout our practice. And when we start to notice them drifting away from this space, bringing ourselves right back to this body, to our movement, noticing each and every transition. Each and every breath. And all together on our next exhalation, allowing our chin to make its way down towards our chest so the cervical spine is long. If we'd like, we can shake the head no, releasing any tension in the cervical spine and in the neck. And as we inhale, guide our right ear towards our right shoulder. Left side of the neck is long. If we'd like, we can release the left palm to the floor beside us. Walk it away from us for a deeper extension here. From those fingertips through the full length of the arm, all the way up into the jaw. Gently moving the chin down and back up, exploring those micro muscles in the neck, and perhaps noticing a spot that needs a little more of our attention today. Staying right there, breathing into this open space. And all together, as we inhale, we can bring the left hand in. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Nice extension in the right side of the neck. If we'd like, releasing that right palm to our side, we can walk it away from us for a deeper extension here from those fingertips to the full length of the arm and all the way up into the jaw. Moving the chin down and back up. Looking for a spot that needs a little more of our attention. And staying there. Just breathing. All together as we exhale, chin meets chest. One last time. As we inhale, we're grounding the fingertips behind the head just gently. I don't want us diving any weight into the neck here. And as we inhale, we're opening up those elbows along with the chin as we lift it up to the sky. Big deep breath in. The chest is nice and wide. And as we exhale, just softening the neck here along with the elbows. Inhale, lifts. Open up and away. Lift through the chest. Exhale, soften. Relax the chin and the elbows again. Not diving any weight into the back of the head here, straining the neck. Just using the hands as leverage as we inhale, open up. And exhale, round it out, soften those elbows. Inhale, nice and wide. Exhale, soften. Just one more time. Inhale, open up. And exhale, rest. Soften the chin. Release the hands from behind the head. As we inhale, roll those shoulders down the back as we lift the crown of the head. Gaze meets each other. Inhale, draw both arms up to the sky. As we exhale, the right hand comes down to our side as we extend through the left palm and the left side body. The gaze can be up towards the top hand or down towards the floor, whatever feels good. Just breathing here, warming up the spine before we get into the bulk of our practice. Inhale, center, exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Nice extension through the right side body. Left palm meets the ground, shifting the gaze as it feels good. As we inhale, come to center, reach those arms up to the sky. Exhale, allow those arms to come forward. Walk the hands out as you rest the chest and the chin for a nice soft fold here. Keeping that pelvis rooted on the mat. It's okay if we don't walk our hands out too far here. Breathing. And as we inhale, we can walk the chest up. All together, we're allowing our right foot to extend straight out in front of us. That left knee is still turned out. Left foot is in towards the hip there. As we inhale, draw both hands up to the ceiling. As we exhale, release the right hand across the body so it's resting on this left thigh or the left knee here. And on our next exhalation, leaning over to the right side, leading with these left fingertips. Now I don't want us collapsing the chest to try to reach down towards the foot here. The goal is to have the chest nice and wide while feeling a subtle stretch in the back of the knee and the hamstring. So find this nice twist here. Fingertips are nice and high, nice rotation of the spine. Adjusting the gaze as we need to, and this feels good. Keeping that pelvis rooted on the mat. As we inhale, come to center, release both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, left arm comes across the body towards the right thigh. As we lean over to the left side, chest is nice and high, subtle rotation of the spine. Gaze can be up or down, whatever feels good. Breathing wherever we are. And all together as we inhale, come to center, reach both arms up towards the sky. Nice long spine. As we exhale, we're grounding the hands behind the back. Fingertips facing toward our bottom, but if that's really uncomfortable for us, we can turn the fingertips out. All together though, planting both hands into the ground. As we inhale, draw those hips up, engaging the glute muscles to do so. Chest is high, gaze is up towards the ceiling. Holding here. And breathing. All together as we exhale, release those hips down to the ground. We're bringing the right leg in, bending it out, allowing that knee to fall away from us as we extend the left leg out in front of us. All together, draw both arms up to the sky. As we exhale, leaning that left hand all the way down towards the right thigh here. And on our exhalation, leaning that chest over to the left, reaching through that right fingertips. Again, focusing on keeping that chest high instead of diving down to try to reach down towards this foot here, compromising our alignment. We're getting a nice subtle stretch in the back of the knee and the hamstring, a nice deep stretch through the side body here. And breathe. The gaze can be up or down, whatever feels good. together. On our next inhalation, we're lifting both arms up to the ceiling. And exhale, opposite side, drawing that right hand across the body towards that left thigh. And as we exhale, leaning over to the right side here, leading with those left fingertips. Again, the chest is nice and tall, finding that rotation in the spine. Breathing. And as we inhale, come to center, reach both arms up to the sky. Nice long spine. Exhale, release those hands behind the back. Ground those fingertips, whether they're facing toward our bottom or out towards the side here. And all together on an inhalation, using that shin as leverage. Engage those glute muscles to get the hips off of the mat, pressing into the hands. The chest is lifted, gaze is up towards the sky. Breathing. And holding. Two more breaths here. And all together, releasing that hip down to the ground. We're extending both feet straight out in front of us, adjusting onto those sit bones as we need to make sure we're nice and firm on the mat. As we inhale, draw both arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinging at those hips as far as we can. Once we find that stopping point in the hinge, releasing those arms nice and soft, allowing the back to round out, the chin to soften. For a resting fold, again, not reaching or pulling through the low back to try to reach towards these feet here. Just allowing a nice subtle stretch in the backs of the legs and in the low back. Breathing. And as we inhale, we're rolling that chest back up, grounding the hands behind the back, planting those heels into the ground. As we inhale, lifting up those hips for tabletop position. Engaging the core to support us. And engaging those glute muscles to keep those hips as high as we can. If we'd like, we can hold right here, make sure we're breathing. Otherwise, for a challenge, we can bend into one knee, lifting the foot off the ground. Holding. All together, release that leg if we lifted it. Bring up the opposite knee. Breathing. All together, release that foot, ground the hips, reach the hands up to the sky, roll out the wrists if we'd like. And on an exhalation, hinging at those hips as far as we can, and then allowing the back to round out, chin to soften, along with the back, and a nice soft fold. Breathing. As we inhale, we're rolling that chest up, grounding the hands behind the back as we bend into the knees, ground these feet. Inhale, an alternative tabletop position, draw those hips up to the sky, engaging the glute muscles as support here. Gaze is up towards the ceiling. Down if we're looking for that challenge, lifting into one knee. Releasing that foot down if we lifted it, opposite side. All together, relaxing that foot down. Bring the hips down towards the ground as we make our way onto our hands and knees. Coming into cat-cow pose as we inhale, dropping the belly button down towards the mat as we lift the tailbone and the crown of the head for cow pose. Shoulders roll down the back. And as we exhale, shifting the spine, tuck the tailbone and chin for cat. Press away from the mat with those muscles in the back body. Inhale, open up. Belly button drops down, lift through the crown of the head and the tailbone. And exhale, round it out for cat. Bring that belly button in towards the spine as we press away with those muscles in the back body. You can feel free to go with our own breath, otherwise we're following me. Inhale, open up, cow pose. Exhale, round for cat. Inhale, wide. Exhale, round. 2 more times. Inhale, cow, belly button drops down. And exhale, round it out for cat. Inhale, open up. And exhale, round it out. And come back to a nice neutral spine all together. As we inhale, we're drawing the right foot straight back. Grounding those hands underneath the shoulder blades to make sure we have nice support here. If we'd like, we can stay right here, engaging the glute muscle and the core. Otherwise, for a challenge, lifting the opposite arm, pushing through the back heel and these front fingertips for support and leverage wherever we are. And breathing. Gaze is down towards the mat so we're not holding any tension in the neck. Two more breaths here. And all together we can release the knee and the opposite hand if we lifted it. Inhale, draw the left heel straight out and back, engaging that glute muscle, the muscles in the low back as well as the core here. Option to keep both hands on the ground, otherwise lifting the opposite arm and holding here. making sure we're breathing. Got 2 more breaths, pushing through those fingertips and the left heel. And all together, we can release the left knee and the hand if we lifted it, coming into some hip rolls. We're sending the hips down towards one heel, bringing them all the way around and back up. Now I want us to find our own little fluid movement here, exploring the mobility in our own body as we send the hips down and around. This can be slow, whatever pace feels good for us. Perhaps we're switching sides, hanging out on one side a little longer. Whatever our body needs, waking up these hips. And all together on our next inhalation, coming to center, grounding those hands into the mat firmly. As we inhale, we're drawing the right heel straight out and back, keeping both palms on the floor. As we inhale, we're drawing the right foot out towards the side of our mat, hovering the ground. Go ahead and release that foot all together. Inhale, lift through the foot, bring it all the way back, pushing through the right heel, nice straight line. And as we exhale, we're bringing that right foot behind that left side towards this left side of the mat. Bend into the right knee, push the hips down just a bit. This is a nice little sequence. So as we inhale, lift the right foot. We're pressing through the right heel. Our body's in a nice straight line. Foot's lifted off the ground. On our next inhalation, draw that right foot out to our side. Hover the ground, and then allow that foot to meet the floor. Inhale all the way out and around, back at center. Exhale, that right foot comes behind that left side. Bend into the right knee. Send the hips down just a bit. Inhale to center, pressing through that right heel, nice straight line. On our next breath, guiding that right foot out to our side, hover the ground, and release that right foot down. Inhale, draw the right foot straight out and back. Exhale, that right foot comes outside of the left side of the mat. Bend into the right knee. Send the hips down and back. Not pushing these hips all the way down towards the ground here. It's just a micro movement as we stretch the glute muscles. And inhale, reaching through that right heel. On our next inhalation, drawing that right foot out to our side, hovering the ground. Release that right foot to the floor. Inhale, draw the right heel straight back. The body's in a nice straight line. And as we exhale, allowing it to come to the outside of the left side of the mat, sending the hips down and back. Two more times after this. Inhale, send the right heel straight out and back. On our next inhalation, that right foot comes outside of the mat, hovering the ground. All together, release the right foot down. Inhale, lift through the right heel, nice straight line. Exhale, that right foot comes behind. Bending into the knee, sending the hips down. Nice stretch of that right glute muscle there. Inhale to center, extend that right foot straight out. All together on our next breath, guide that right foot out to our side, hover the ground. And release that right foot to the floor. Inhale, draw the right heel straight out and back. And exhale, release that right foot to the outer edge of the left side of the mat. Send the hips back. Inhale to center, pushing through that right heel. And as we exhale, we can release the right knee. Allow the big toes to come together as we send the hips down and back for child's pose. The chest softens along with the forehead. Nice stretch in the low back as well as the glute muscles. Breathe. And as we inhale, coming back to center all together, doing the same little sequence on our opposite side, step by step. As we inhale, send the left heel straight out and back. All together on our next inhalation, bringing that left foot to the outside of our mat, hovering the ground. It's about at that hip length. Releasing that left foot. Inhale, draw the left heel straight back. Exhale, bringing that left foot behind that right leg to the outer side of that right side of the mat. Send the hips down, stretching out the glute muscle. And as we inhale, come to center, reaching through that left heel. Our body's in a nice straight line. All together, as we inhale, we're allowing that left foot to come to the outside of our mat at hip width apart, hovering the ground, and then releasing that left foot down. All together, inhale, draw the left heel straight out and back. Exhale, left foot comes to the outside of that right side of the mat. Send the hips down, stretching the glute muscle. Inhale, center, push through the left heel. Nice straight line. On our next breath, bringing that left foot to the outside of our mat, in line with the hips, hovering the ground, and then releasing that left foot down. All together, inhale, draw the left heel straight out and back. Exhale, bring that left foot to the outside of the right side of the mat. Bend into the left knee. Send the hips down, stretching the glute muscle. Two more times. Inhale, extend that left heel straight out and back. On our next breath, bringing that left foot to the outside of the mat, hover the ground. And release that left foot down. Inhale, left heel comes straight out and back. And as we exhale, crossing that left leg over the right, bending into the knee, sending the hips back just a bit, finding a stretch in those glute muscles. Inhale, extending through the left heel. Body's in a nice straight line. Our last time of this one. On our next breath, allowing that left foot to come outside the mat, in line with those hips, hover the ground. And all together, release that left foot down. Inhale, extend the left foot straight out and back. And exhale, that left foot comes across the right leg. Bend into the knees, send the hips down and back just a bit, stretching those glute muscles. All together, coming to center, left heel reaches straight out. And bending into the left knee, allowing those big toes to come together, send the hips down and back. The chest softens along with the forehead for child's pose. If we'd like, even widening these knees so they reach the outer edges of the mat as we walk the hands forward, giving ourselves a nice deep stretch in the low back and the hips here. Breathing. And all together as we inhale, coming back to our tabletop position. Grounding both hands into the mat. Inhale, draw the right foot straight out and back, extending through the right heel. All together, bend into the right knee so the heel's facing up towards the ceiling. As we inhale, draw the right heel further up towards the sky, engaging the glute muscle to do so. And as we exhale, we're just releasing to the center line of the body. So back to that neutral point. Inhale high. Hold. Exhale, center line of the body. Inhale high. Exhale, center line of the body. 2 more times. Inhale, push through that heel. Exhale, center line. Last time, inhale, lift through the right heel. Exhale, center line. And all together, we can release the right knee down to the ground. Wiggle out the hips if we need to. And come to stillness all together. We're extending the left heel straight out and back. All together, bending into that left knee. Sending the heel up towards the sky as we inhale. Lift. Exhale, nice neutral spine. Inhale high. Exhale, neutral. 3 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, high. Exhale, neutral. Last time, inhale, push through the heel. Exhale, neutral. And all together, we can release that left knee. Wiggle out the hips if we need to. Send the hips down and back. Chest comes down along with the forehead for child's pose. Rolling out the wrists if we'd like here. Then allowing those hands to relax. All together, walking both hands to the right side. Getting a nice stretch in the left side body. Inhale, walk the hands to center. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Inhale, right back to center. And all together, returning to our tabletop position. Ground those hands underneath the shoulder blades. Flipping the back toes, we're guiding the hips up and diagonally back into downward facing dog pose, making sure those fingertips are pressed into the mat as support for the wrists here. If we'd like, we can walk out the feet, lifting one heel as we send the opposite heel down. I encourage us to slow down this motion, really getting that nice deep stretch in the glute muscles, as well as those hips. All together, coming to stillness. As we inhale, lift the right heel up to the sky, three-legged dog. Holding here. If we'd like, bending into the right knee, we can stack the hips. Inhale, push through the right heel. And as we exhale, bringing that right knee in towards the chest, just as a transition to ground that right foot between the hands, low lunge. Adjusting our alignment as we get here, making sure that ankle is underneath the knee. We don't want the knee jutting out towards the foot here. Finding ourselves nice and sturdy. Once we get there, inhale, draw both hands up to the sky, high lunge, pushing through that back heel for balance, pressing through the fingertips, nice strong form here, and hold. Take a deep breath. As we exhale, we're bending into the back knee as we allow the arms to come out to our sides. Inhale, lift, come off the back knee, high lunge. Exhale, drop the knee with control. Arms come out to our sides. Inhale, high. Last time, exhale, drop the back knee, arms come out. And inhale, nice and high for our high lunge. All together, as we exhale, we're releasing the hands down to the ground and walking those hands forward. As we do so, noticing the back foot starts to come off the mat. Nice bend into this front knee. Inhale, start to lift that back heel up towards the ceiling as we extend the front leg, grounding our hands on the floor in front of us as support here for modified warrior 3. If we'd like, we can stay right here. This is a nice deep engagement in the glute muscle. Otherwise, we can turn that hip out as we ground the right hand on the floor, lifting the left hand up to the sky for half moon pose. Engaging the core and those glute muscles, isolating our focus to the points that are on the floor, reaching that opposite arm to the sky if we lifted it. Nice strong fingertips, nothing's lazy. All together, releasing that left hand if we raised it, square out those hips towards the center. All together, release the back leg, draw the hands back, finding ourselves in a low lunge. As we inhale, lift through the arms, high lunge. And all together, as we exhale, release both hands. Send the right foot back, hips high, down dog. All together, as we inhale, draw the left heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. If we'd we'd like, bending into the left knee, we can stack the hips. All together, send the left heel up. And as we exhale, bringing that left knee in close to the chest. Just as a transition to drop that left foot between the hands, low lunge. Adjust our alignment as we need to. Make sure that ankle's underneath the knee. Before we inhale and drop both hands up to the sky for high lunge. Breathe. As we exhale, bending into the back knee as we allow the arms to come out to our sides. Inhale high, lift up the back knee, arms reach up towards the sky. 2 more times, exhale, bend it out with complete control. Nice slow movements, arms come out. Inhale high. And exhale, bend it out. Arms are out to our sides. Inhale, lift up to the sky, high lunge. All together, reaching these hands back down towards the ground. All together, walking the hands forward, bending into the front knee as we start to lift that right heel up towards the ceiling. Modified warrior 3. Holding here. Nice engagement in those glute muscles to keep that heel up. If we'd like, we can hang out right here using both hands as balance. Otherwise, we can open up that right hip, keeping the left arm planted on the ground as we reach the right hand up to the sky for half moon. Making sure the core is completely engaged here, so our weight isn't diving into any particular thing like the left leg or that left glute muscle. We're reaching through this top hand if we lifted it. All together, straightening that hip out as we release the right hand to the floor. Modified warrior 3. All together, bending into the front knee as we send the right foot back down to the ground. Low lunge. Finding grounding here before we inhale. Reach those arms up to the sky. High lunge. Adjusting as we need to. Sending that back heel down for balance. Breathe. All together, releasing both hands. Send that left foot back, hips high, down dog, holding here. If we'd like, we can allow those hips to lean over to one side. Inhale to center. Exhale, just allowing both the hips to lean over to the opposite side. Hands stay in the same exact spot. And inhale to center, push through those shoulder blades, gazes towards the toes. All together, bringing the feet up towards the hands, chest stays low, forward fold. If we'd like, we can have a subtle bend in the knees here as we grab either elbow, rock from side to side for ragdoll. The neck is completely soft. And all together finding stillness. Breathing, the arms are relaxed, the neck is soft. On our next inhalation, we're rolling the chest up, vertebrae by vertebrae. That means our head comes up very, very last. And we're grounding the feet at hip width apart, turning the palms out so they're facing the space around us as we roll the shoulders down the back. Tuck the tailbone as we engage the core for a nice strong Tadasana or standing mountain pose. If we'd like, we can allow the eyes to shut. Just taking a moment to find strength in this stillness. Find stability in our stance. As we inhale, draw both arms up to the sky, allowing the right big toe to reach towards the outside of the mat. As we exhale, the right hand comes down as we extend through the left side body. If we'd like, we can stay right here in our crescent stretch. Otherwise, if we'd like to go for a floating crescent stretch, we're working that right big toe off the ground. So engaging the side of this glute muscle here to lift that left big toe, pressing through the right heel for support in this lift. Nice little challenge pose here. Perhaps we're working our way between the ground and a lift. That's perfectly fine. And all together, release that right foot, bring it back into the center. Allow that right arm to reach up towards the sky. All together, just allowing that left big toe to come outside the mat. Allow the left arm to come down as well as we reach through the right side body. If we'd like, we can hang out here. If we're looking for that floating crescent, we're slowly bringing that big toe off the mat, engaging the side of the glute muscles here, finding a nice little balance. Maybe we're working our way between the floor and a lift. That's perfectly okay. And all together, bring that left foot in, reach both arms up to the sky. As we exhale, sinking into the hips as we bend into the knees for chair pose, making sure the core is engaged so our tailbone isn't super rotated out. We're nice and plugged into those hips. Arms reach up to the sky. Allow the palms to touch as we bring them to heart center, shoulders roll down the back. As we exhale, turn the chest to the right side. If we'd like, keeping the chest high, otherwise we can work our way toward allowing that left forearm, or the left elbow, to come down towards the right thigh. All together, wherever we are, we're lifting that left heel off the ground, plugging our right foot into the floor. And as we inhale, we're working our way toward lifting that left foot off the ground, finding ourselves in a balance. Now again, same thing as our floating crescent. If we're working our way between the ground and a lift in that foot, that's just fine. Finding something to focus on here is our drishti, or our focus point for our balance poses today. Playing around with this, making sure we're breathing. And all together, we can release the left foot fully, straighten out the spine to center. Allow the chest to collapse over the thighs, hips rise for forward fold. Take a deep breath. Release these arms. All together, bending into the right knee as we ground the right hand on the floor. Inhale, lift the left arm up to the sky in a twist. As we exhale, release the left hand down, bend into the left knee, right arm reaches up towards the sky in a twist. All together, release that right hand down, nice soft fold. As we inhale, rolling the chest up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Our head comes up very, very lax. Grounding the feet at hip width apart, engaging the core, tucking the tailbone as we roll the shoulders down the back, open up those palms for Tadasana, standing mountain pose. Take a big deep breath as we exhale, allow those shoulders to come away from the ears. Perhaps allowing the eyes to shut, just finding strength, stillness, and stability here. Breathing. All together as we inhale, draw both arms up to the sky. Allowing our right hand to gently grasp onto the left wrist. As we exhale, we're leaning over to the right side. Not pulling on this wrist or the left arm here, just using it as leverage. Inhale to center. We're switching the wrist. Lean over to the left side. And as we inhale, come back to center. Go ahead and release both hands out and down with complete control. Inhale, bring both arms right back up to the sky. As we exhale, bending into the knees as we send the hips down for chair pose, engaging the core so our tailbone isn't super externally rotated. All together, bring the hands to center, shoulders roll down and back. On an exhale, turn the chest to the left side. If we'd like, we can keep the chest high. Otherwise, we're working our way toward getting that right elbow down onto the left thigh. Wherever we are, working that right heel off the ground and exploring a balance as we lift that right foot off the floor, pressing all of our weight into the left foot. Maybe we're working our way between the ground and a lift, and that's perfectly fine. We're just exploring some tension here, exploring some balances, finding that drisky, something to focus on with the gaze. Wherever we are, here for a bit longer. And all together, we can release the right foot and allow the chest to collapse over the thighs. Forward fold. Nice and soft, micro bend in the knees. All together, bending the knees as much as we need to send the hips high, feet come back for down dog. We'd like leaning the hips over to one side, back to center, then leading those hips over the opposite side, and then coming right back to center. All together, inhale, lift the right heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. As we exhale, bring the right foot down to the ground, hips high, down dog. Inhale, opposite side, left heel reaches up towards the sky. And as we exhale, we're bringing that left knee in towards the chest, just as a transition to ground the left foot between the hands for low lunge. As we inhale, drop both arms up to the sky. High lunge. All together, allowing that back foot to come out 45 degrees. Hips are squared towards the front of the room for warrior one. All together, on an exhalation, open up those hips. Allow the fingertips to reach out towards our sides in warrior two. Check in with the fingertips. Shoulders are nice and strong. On our next inhalation, we're flipping the top hand. Exhale, high five the back wall, reverse warrior. If we'd like, this right hand could rest gently on the back leg. Otherwise, it could come behind the body. Breathe. On our next inhalation, coming to center with those arms, warrior two. All together, turn the front foot in so it's facing the long ways of the mat. Turn the palms out so they're facing the sky. Reach up towards those fingertips for star pose. And as we exhale, we're bringing the hands to heart center. Turning both feet out just a bit as we bend into one knee, perhaps widening out the stance if we need to. Side lunge here. And as we inhale, we come to center. Exhale, rotate over, side lunge, opposite side. And inhale, center. Exhale, over. Inhale up, exhale down. Same exact motion. Inhale, rise. Exhale, over, opposite side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Two more times. Inhale, high. Exhale, over. Inhale, center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, rise. Exhale, over. Inhale, high. Go ahead and turn those feet in. Maybe walk them in just a bit so the feet are facing toward the long side of the mat. Open up those palms one more time. Reach through the fingertips and the chest for star pose. Take a deep breath. And all together, coming back into our warrior two. Adjust the front foot so it's facing the vertical side of the mat. Back foot's at a 45-degree angle. Arms are nice and strong. Inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling. Square those hips towards the front of the room. Warrior one. Come off the back heel, pressing into the balls of that back foot. High lunge. And all together as we exhale, reach those hands down towards the ground. Inhale, draw the left foot back. Hips high, down dog. Hold in here. As we inhale, send the left heel up to the sky for three-legged dog. And as we exhale, release that left foot down. Inhale, right heel reaches up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. And as we exhale, bring that right knee in towards the chest. Just as a transition to drop that right foot between the hands for low lunge. Adjust our alignment as we need to. Make sure that ankle's underneath the knee. And as we inhale, lift both arms up to the ceiling, high lunge. All together, allowing that back foot to come out 45 degrees. Keep those hips squared towards the room, arm reach up towards the sky for warrior one. Holding here. All together on an exhalation, opening those arms up along with those hips. Warrior two. Check in with the fingertips, no lazy arms. And as we inhale, flip the top hand. Exhale, high five the back wall. Reverse warrior. This left palm could rest gently on the back leg, or if we'd like, it could come behind the back. And hold. Chest is nice and high. And as we inhale, come to center. On our next inhalation, we're turning the front foot out toward our side here, so it's facing the long side of the mat, allowing the arms to open up, reach through the chest and the fingertips for star pose. And all together as we exhale, bringing the hands to heart center, turning both feet out as we bend into one knee, maybe widening this stance if we need to. Coming into our side lunge. Inhale to center. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Bending into the opposite knee. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate over. Inhale down. Inhale high. Exhale over. Two more times. Inhale high. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, over. Last time. Inhale, high. Exhale, opposite side. And inhale, high. Go ahead and step the feet in if we need to. Allow both of the toes to face the long side of the mat. Reach both arms up towards the sky. Lift through the chest for star pose. Take up space. Nice and wide. Take a deep breath, and on our next inhalation, returning to our warrior two, allowing the front foot to face the top of the mat, turning that back foot so it's at that 45-degree angle. The arms are parallel with the shoulder blades. Holding here. All together, inhale, draw both hands up to the sky. Square those hips towards the front of the room for warrior one. All together, coming off the back heel onto the balls of that back foot. High lunge. And all together on an exhalation, grounding those hands. Send the right foot back, hips high, down dog, and hold. Gaze is towards the toe. And as we inhale, we're walking the feet up towards the hands. Chest stays low, hips are high, forward fold. All together, rolling the chest up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Our head comes up very, very last. Grounding the feet at hip width apart as we turn the palms out, roll the shoulders down the back. For standing mountain pose, the gaze is straight ahead of us, perhaps even shutting the eyes. Taking a deep breath and allowing those shoulders to fall away from the ears. Coming into another fun balance here as we inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling, pressing all of our weight into this left foot. Gently bringing that right heel off the ground. As we inhale, we're working our right knee up to the center line of this hip, so they're going to meet at parallel here. If we're working our way between the ground and that lift, that's fine. If we're looking for an even deeper challenge, working our way towards extending that right leg straight out and holding wherever we are. All together, we can release the right leg, allow the arms to come down, wiggle them arms out. Maybe rock from side to side here, wiggle out the shoulders, and then come to stillness. Our Tadasana, standing mountain pose, turn those palms out, roll the shoulders down and back. Engage the core, tuck the tailbone, perhaps the eyes shut. Remembering to bring that focus onto the breath if other thoughts or emotions start to pop up during our practice. Reminding ourselves that trying and giving this a chance is enough. Inhale, draw both arms up to the sky, pressing all of our weight into this right foot here. Lifting that left heel off the ground. We're working our left knee up so it's in line with that hip. If we're working our way between the ground and that lift, that's fine. Again, finding our drishti, something to focus on with the gaze. So our sole focus is on this lift of the leg here. We're looking for that challenge, perhaps extending the left leg straight out. And working our way between the two, and that's just fine. Taking a couple more breaths here. All together, release the left foot. Allow the arms to come out and down to our sides as we hinge at the hips. Forward fold. The chest comes over the thighs. Take a deep breath. As we inhale, we're just lifting the back up halfway, allowing the hands to softly rest on the shins for half back. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. Just halfway. Exhale, soften. Last time, inhale, half back. And exhale, soften, fold. All together, bending the knees as much as we need to ground the hands on the floor. Step the feet back, hips rise. Down dog. All together as we inhale, drawing the right heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. And as we exhale, bring that right knee into the chest, just as a transition to ground that right foot between the hands. Low lunge. Check our alignment when we get there. As we inhale, lift both arms up to the ceiling, high lunge. Take a deep breath. As we exhale, we're bending into the back knee as we allow the arms to come out. Inhale, lift. Power through the front leg and the back foot. Exhale, down. With control, the arms come out to our sides. One last time. Inhale, high. And exhale, down. Arms come out. Inhale, lift. All together, release both hands down to the ground, finding ourselves in a low lunge. All together, walk the hands forward as we bring that left foot off the mat, pressing into the front leg. Modified warrior 3. Again, if we'd like, we can keep the right hand planted on the ground as we guide the left arm up to the sky for half moon. Open up that left hip joint. Wherever we're at, we're allowing the neck to be soft so we can isolate all that tension to the lower body. Nice and strong here wherever we are, using our hands as leverage in this movement. All together, release the back foot, coming right back into our low lunge. Walk the hands in. Inhale, reach both hands up to the sky. High lunge. And as we exhale, release the palms down. Inhale, step the right foot back, hips high, round off. Gaze is towards the toes, not holding any tension in the neck. And as we inhale, draw the left heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. As we exhale, bring that left knee into the chest. Just as a transition, to ground that left foot on the floor, in between the hands, low lunge. Check our alignment. And as we inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling. High lunge. As we exhale with control, we're bending into the back knee. As we allow those arms to come out to our sides. Inhale, lift. Power through the back foot and the front leg. Exhale, bend it out. Inhale high. Last time, exhale, bend. Arms come out to our sides. And inhale, lift. High lunge. All together, allowing our arms to come down to the ground, finding ourselves in low lunge. We're walking the hands in front of us as we allow that right heel to come up towards the ceiling, pressing into this left leg as support. Modified warrior 3. If we'd like, we're hanging out here. Otherwise, we can ground that left arm, open up the right hip. As we reach the right hand up to the ceiling, finding our balance here. And half moon. But again, wherever we're at today is fine. No pressure, no force. Being mindful that our balance might be different on either side, and that's perfectly okay. Holding wherever we are. And all together as we exhale, straightening out that hip, ground the hand if we lifted it, allowing that back foot to come down towards the mat, walk the hands in, low lunge. As we inhale, reach those arms up to the ceiling, high lunge. And all together, grounding the hands, sending the left foot back, hips high, down dog. On our next exhalation, we're lowering the knees down, not quite allowing those knees to meet the mat. Inhale, lift those hips up to the sky. 2 more times, bend into the knees, don't allow them to touch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend into the knees. They hover the mat. And inhale, lift up those hips. All together, allow those knees to make their way all the way down to the ground. Send the hips all the way down and back for child's pose. The chest is soft along with the forehead. If we'd like, we can even allow these arms to come down to our sides, allowing the spine to fully round out over the legs here. Wherever feels good. Wherever we are, just breathing. All together on our next inhalation, we're making our way to a tabletop position, just so we can make the way all the way down onto our backs. Grounding the back fully into the mat, the knees can be bent for now. Once we find a nice cozy spot, we're bringing both knees in towards the chest. For reclined child's pose, we can rock from side to side. And if we'd like, we can hang out right here. Otherwise, we're grabbing towards the inner soles of the feet and allowing those knees to come out and down to our sides for happy baby. If we'd like, even bending into one knee as we extend the opposite leg. Just exploring the way that shifts the position. All together, bring the knees back in towards the chest. Allowing the hands to come out to our sides. As we exhale, we're rotating both knees over to one side, finding a nice resting twist. We can explore with the gaze here. It can remain up towards the sky. Perhaps it's out to the right side, over to the left. We're exploring the full length of the spine here. And then finding what feels more comfortable and staying there. Just breathing here. Perhaps being mindful again of our breathing. Removing our attention from any other thought. And checking in with the state of our breath and the state of our body right now in this position. As we inhale, coming to center, engaging the core to get those knees up towards the chest. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Exploring with the gaze again, to the right and left, up towards the ceiling, and hanging out wherever it feels best. Just breathing. As we inhale, coming back to center, engaging the core to get those knees nice and close to the chest, behind child's pose. All together, allowing both hands to be planted on the mat as we lift both heels up to the ceiling, making ourselves a 90-degree angle. And as we exhale, we're lowering both heels down to the ground with complete control, allowing both legs to rest fully on the mat beneath us, allowing the feet to come wider than hip width apart. They're going to splay out nice and natural. We're letting them. Feet are soft. All together, rotating the palms out so they're facing the sky above us. Roll the shoulders down the back one last time. Checking in with the state of our body here, allowing the eyes to shut softly. Step by step, releasing any tension from the body. Relaxing the eyebrow and the forehead. Allowing the eye sockets and the cheekbones to be heavy. Removing the tongue from the roof of the mouth so the lips part naturally. Relaxing the neck, the collarbone, and the shoulder. Relax the biceps and the triceps. Allow a softness into each elbow, the forearms, the wrists, the palms of the hands, and out each and every fingertip, a release of tension. Allowing the mat and the floor beneath us to bear all of our weight. Follow this attention back to the center line of the body. Notice the rib cage, the heart, and the lungs. The stomach and the inner organs. Just notice. Allowing those hips to be heavy, fully supported by the ground beneath us. Find the softness in the glute muscle, quadriceps, the hamstring, each knee, calves, and the shin. The softness in each ankle, the tops and the bottoms of the feet, and out each and every toe, just noticing, just finding a release. Allowing ourselves to feel weighted and weightless simultaneously. If we'd like, we can stay in our corpse pose a little longer. Otherwise, unless we're pregnant or have high blood pressure, we can roll over to the right side. Allow the knees to come nice and close. The chest follows in a fetal position, taking our time with the body. And I encourage us to take this time to send a thank you note to the body and mind that brought you into this space. Even if that thank you is just for being able to make it on the mat today. So thank you for breathing, for existing just so you can exist. And upon sending that thank you note, I'd like us to make our way back up to a resting, seated position, much like the one we started our class with today. Bring our hands to heart center or our third eye. I thank you all for sharing this practice with me today, for allowing me to lead you through it, for trying something new, for working with me throughout this time. The light and the love within me sees, I bow, and recognize the light and the love within you. Namaste.